Matchmaking is in my soul, and it has been for a long time. It's who I am, part of who I am. And so today should be a fun conversation where I'm gonna teach you to become we'll call it a semi-professional matchmaker today. And just to make sure you all know you're in the right place.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find.
Somebody gets points if they can tell me what movie this is from.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, look.
All right, you are in the right place. So just really quickly, I'm going to cover what I'm going to share with you today. First, I'm going to talk about some personal matches. Then I'll tell you a little bit about setup. We'll talk about the history of matchmaking. We'll talk about romantic matchmaking, and then we'll talk about how business matchmaking is a little different than romantic matchmaking. And then the exercise, you all will get a chance to practice your new matchmaking skills with each other. Without further ado, there are 3 couples on this slide. These are all couples who have married after I introduced them to each other. They are not all still married. I'm not a marriage counselor. They liked each other enough to get married. And you all can guess which ones are still married and which ones aren't. Setup exists to connect and empower marketers because we're better together. We believe that very deeply. And in practice, what that means is that we typically match qualified marketing agencies and resources. So we match marketers with agencies, we match marketers with each other. We are all about marketing matchmaking. So that's it about us. What makes a good match from a romantic standpoint? It's compatibility and chemistry. And if you think about compatibility is all of the things that are on paper, I think about my dating days, which ended in 2004, and for good reason, because I eventually married the woman. But do you have similar goals, values, likes and dislikes, proximity, and demographics? Like just on paper, do things look good? The chemistry side of things is harder to quantify, right? Do you have emotional intelligence? Does the personalities match, similar temperament, general vibe, and of course, attraction. I mean, attraction has to be part of it, right? So if these are the elements that make a good match, the compatibility and chemistry, I'm going to give you a quick primer on the history of matchmaking, which is pretty fun. So arranged marriages have been around for thousands and thousands of years. These were the original matchmakers, the folks doing these arranged marriages. The first personal ad came in the 1700s. I love this. Upright young lady looking for a warm hearth, single female with good education, moral fiber, and unbending principles, patient and sedate, seeking a gentle, kind partner. Clergymen preferred. Scientific matchmaking came in the 20s. First computer match, 1959, Stanford, IBM 650. I'm sure that the phones in each of your pockets are 100 times more powerful than that. And then, of course, 1971, the matchmaker as a profession became popular in 1971 because of the movie. And then the 80s brought us cheesy dating videos. So I have a sample for you today that I think you'll enjoy.
Hi, I'm Carrie. I'm a receptionist, and I'm looking for a serious man who takes life seriously. My ideal mate will be a man who's very serious and has a lot of money to show for it, and will be a provider for me and my sister. My best qualities would have to be I love to dance. I could dance all day, dance all night. My celebrity crush is Lou Diamond Phillips. That's stupid.
I don't know if you heard, but her celebrity crush is Lou Diamond Phillips. 1995 was the first match for Match.com. 1997, JDate launched, and I'm very thankful for JDate because I met my wife on JDate, July 29, 2004. So thank you, JDate. In the 2000s, we had a slew of additional online dating sites, eHarmony, OkCupid. Nobody can forget Ashley Madison. We remember when they had the big data breach and exposed all these people. This was for cheaters. Grindr came out in the 2000s. And then my very favorite one, Farmers Only, City Folks Just Don't Get It, is their tagline. Best tagline ever for a dating site. So then mobile, in the 2010s, mobile came on the scene. So Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Bumble, Hinge. And then I have to give a shout out to my newest favorite dating site, seacaptaindate.com. If you're looking for a sea captain or a first mate, that's your place, okay? So all these dating sites and dating services, you know, we bring the science and technology to it, but what I love about love is that none of it ever seems to work. You can't replace the human touch and connection. That's a shout out to the capability, or the compatibility and the chemistry piece. You can almost throw out the compatibility thing and find, you know, that chemistry kind of trumps all of that. So if compatibility and chemistry are the two parts to making a good romantic match, I want to give you an example that exemplifies to me the idea that compatibility is one thing, but chemistry is something else altogether. I give you Exhibit A. On the left, Paulina Poroskova, at the time, the hottest supermodel on the planet, cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition 4 times, I think, and Rick Ocasek, the lead singer for the Cars. Very talented guy, but not always known for his looks. Had a 30-year marriage. They had the chemistry, and it lasted a long time. But rest in peace, Rick Ocasek, recently passed away. But anyway, chemistry, compatibility. Remember chemistry and compatibility as being kind of the two pieces of this. So I'm going to quickly tell you the steps of romantic matchmaking, and then we'll pivot over to business matchmaking and how it's a little different. All right. So first thing, be curious. You know, to be interesting, you should be interested, says Dale Carnegie. Asking great questions, open-ended questions, creative questions, questions aimed to really understand the person. And once you ask those questions, the output should be you learn things about them. You learn factoids and tidbits, you know, hobbies and travel and that kind of thing. File away those tidbits. Some of us are lucky enough to be able to file away those tidbits in our brain. Some of us are not and need to document them other places. I want to share with you a mnemonic device that you might be able to use to remember people's names and remember their tidbits. Actually, I would recommend maybe not doing it this way, but I want to share it with you anyway.
And I have used that to memorize your name. Baldy. Your head is bald. It is hairless. It is shiny. It is reflective like a mirror. M, your name is Mark.
Yes.
Got it. It works.
It's very insulting.
But it works. I would like you all to give this a shot. What do you say?
But we already know each other's names.
Well, then it will be easier for you. But I still think it's worthwhile to give it a try.
Okay. All right, everyone. Meeting's over.
Well, I still have more.
Can I please see you in my office, please?
She is pregnant. She is knocked up. Kay, Karen. Pam, let's go.
So that's one approach, maybe not recommended. Look for connections. To me, this is how my mind looks probably on the inside, is thinking about all of those little tidbits as nodes on a crime scene board, and the red threads that connect those nodes together are the connections that you're making in your mind, right? You then want to get permission from both parties that it's okay to make the connection. Then make the connection, but make sure when you do it that you explain the reasoning why you think it's a good match for both people, right? So to recap, curious, ask smart questions, listen for facts, file away the tidbits, look for good connections, check with parties for permission, and then make the introduction. So business matchmaking is a little different than matchmaking for romantic purposes, right? So types of professional matches: person to resource, person to organization, person to technology. There are lots of different matches you can make. We're going to focus obviously on the person to person matches today. So still want to be curious, but you need to listen very carefully as the first step. Ask smart questions. Listening, not just for key facts, but for pain points. I mean, in business, we're often trying to solve somebody's problem, particularly in marketing, right? Filing away the tidbits, but also documenting them. We document our tidbits in the CRM system. You may choose to document them on a spreadsheet, but just document them. Looking for solutions, not just connections. We put these two logos up because sometimes connections are made just between one large company. We've connected people that both work within Kellogg's. We've connected people that both work within Georgia Pacific to each other. And then recapping the challenges so that it's clear what the issue you're trying to solve for is. So background challenges, what they're looking for, what success looks like, and next steps. I have an example here with the identity redacted but this is an example of a marketing client that was looking for help with research, social media, influencer marketing, and digital execution. So when we work with a client, we actually help them write a brief, and then we take that brief to figure out which agencies are the perfect fit to solve that problem. That's our way of documenting the challenges that we're trying to help the client solve. Lastly, making introductions that are mutually beneficial. And the logos on the left are examples of brands that we've worked with to help connect them with agency support. So we've made a lot of matches I think we've made something like 700 matches in the last total of 7 years in business, between brand and agency. All right. So to recap, curious and listening, smart questions, listening for pain points, documenting the needs, looking for connections, but also solutions, recapping the challenges, and then making the mutually beneficial introduction. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Thank you for coming.